and they don't tell them the science. Okay, let's go through that list right now. All the things that kids are not told. So number one is that they're not told, girls are not informed that they are more vulnerable physically and emotionally to early sexual behavior and multiple partners. So the reason that girls are more vulnerable physically, aside from obviously being the one that gets pregnant, is because the cervix, the entrance to the uterus, is in girls, the covering of the cervix is very vulnerable to infection because it only is one cell thick. As a girl matures into adulthood, that area becomes much tougher and covered with many cells. But when a girl is 12 or 13 or 15, that cervix is extremely delicate. And if there's a virus or a bacteria there, chlamydia, gonorrhea, human papillomavirus, or herpes, it's very easy for that cervix to be infected. And men or boys don't have an equivalent area like that unless we're talking about anal intercourse, which we can get to later. It's a different subject. But just getting back to girls and women represent 80% of all the morbidity, the sickness, and the suffering from sexually transmitted infections outside of HIV, which is more common in men who have sex with men. So girls are not told about their immature cervix. And that's very, very important. It's something that no, because it would go, you see, Jackie, it would go against this notion that's also part of sexuality education, that men and women, male and female, girls and boys, really are the same. They're at the same risk. If they had to point out that girls are at more risk, that would sound sexist. That's not fair, right? Biology isn't fair. Biology is sexist, okay? Biology says that girls are more vulnerable, and that's the way it always was, and that's the way it's always going to be. Correct. It's biology. It's not, your parents being sexist to tell when they give the boys a different message than the girls. I mean, look, both boys are certainly also at risk, and then kids should all be given the same guidance about delaying sexual behavior. But the truth is that girls are more at risk and they need to know about it. The other thing that kids are not told about is the biochemistry of attachment. And by the way, just getting back to the cervix, immature cervix, and the biochemistry of attachment, these are things that we've known about for decades and decades in science.
But they're inherent for our protection, to survive as a species. They're built into us.
The body has its own wisdom. And this is part of the body's wisdom. But again, Jackie, you see, it goes against the ideology of sexual freedom and sexual rights. Because if you're going to be sexually free and have many partners, including strangers and all sorts of varieties of sexual encounters,